Hi everybody, this is Kevin, and welcome back to another video. And today, I would like to talk about 15 upcoming RPGs that I'm interested in, 2 of which were actually just released earlier this week. So we'll start with them and go in release order. And the first game is the indie RPG from Sabotage Studios, Sea of Stars, which had a very successful Kickstarter campaign. They released a demo a few months ago, which I actually streamed on the channel if you want to check it out. And, download the demo and play it for yourself. But the game is available on every console, from the PS4, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and even PC. At the moment, it is digital only, but there is going to be a physical release on the PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox early in 2024. So you can go to their Twitter page and sign up for their mailing list if you want to get the physical edition, which you better believe I'm going to wait for the physical edition. But if you do want to play it right away, like I said, it's available digitally on all those consoles for $35. And it's also on Xbox's Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. So if you're a subscriber to either of those services, you can play it right away. But yeah, this is a game heavily inspired by SNES classic JRPGs such as Chrono Trigger, and it has a beautiful pixel art style, excellent combat with action commands. So, it's turn-based, but if you keep pressing the same button, you can extend your attack. Kind of reminded me of Yakuza Like a Dragon, but maybe more so inspired by the Mario RPG on the SNES and Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga games like that. And there's also some guest tracks by the legendary composer Yasunori Matsuda, so that's another plus. And the game looks great. It's a pretty fair price at $35 digitally. We'll wait and see what the price is physically, but I'm definitely going to have to pick it up physically because I enjoyed the demo quite a bit, and it released on August 29th, so you can play it right away. Next up is another game that released on August 29th, and that is Rhapsody Moral Kingdom Chronicles, and this game is available on the PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and it is a remaster of 2 never-before-released games outside of Japan, Rhapsody 2, Ballad of the Little Princess, and Rhapsody 3, Memories of Moral Kingdom. Now you might be wondering, where is the first Rhapsody game? Well, the first Rhapsody game, A Magical Adventure, was released years and years ago on the PlayStation 1 and actually received a remaster last year in 2022. So, I guess it's a bit of a shame that they couldn't bundle all 3 Rhapsody games together, but they probably saw, okay, we released the remaster of Rhapsody 1 last year, so let's do this remastered bundle of the other 2 games that have never been released outside of Japan. Only in Japan, as the great Eric Landon likes to say. And this is from Nipponichi Software and NIS America, on sale for $50. So one little nitpick I have here is the fact that, me being a PlayStation fan, it's only PS5, there's no PS4. So slowly but surely, we just saw from Sea of Stars and their physical release, it seems like these games aren't going to be released on the PS4 anymore, which is quite a shame, especially considering this game was 2 PlayStation games. You can't release it on the PS4, but there are physical copies. It's $50 for 2 games. I understand these games are old, they're from the PlayStation era, but, finally getting a proper release in North America and remastered, bundled together with a physical copy, $50 is a pretty fair price, and definitely recommend that. These games are like musical JRPGs, so if you're into that sort of thing, check it out, and it looks like a lot of fun. So then, on September 5th, we have Monochrome Mobius, Rights and Wrongs Forgotten, which is from the Uta Warrior Mono series. And this game is being released on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It was previously only on PC back on November of 2022. So I wonder why that was. They released it there. I think, what I think it was? I think it got a Japanese release on the consoles, and then it just was released on Steam last year, and now it's getting a proper console release in North America. And this is from Aqua Plus and NIS America. If you're a fan of the Uta Warrior Mono series, I would assume you'd like it. Most of those games are visual novels with tactical battles, but this one seems to be more of a JRPG, turn-based battles and things of that nature. On September 14th, we have the Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster, only releasing on the Switch, and this is $50. Of course, the Baten Kaitos games were classic turn-based games on the GameCube, and from Monolith Software and Bandai Namco. There is not going to be a physical release in North America for these, so it's only on the Nintendo eShop for $50, but you can buy it off of Play Asia if you want a physical copy, so that's an option for you. It's such a shame. We're going to get to more of these games here, but there's a number of games that aren't getting physical releases anymore. It's digital only, and I understand this is a remaster, but still, I mean, us collectors like to have the games in hand, so I don't know what they can really do to improve Baten Kaitos from the GameCube. Maybe there'll be like some fast-forward features. They'll polish the graphics a little to, they say HD, and was GameCube HD? No, that's early 2000s. There's no HD there. So I guess it'll look graphically better. This is more so for the people who didn't get a chance to play Baten Kaitos in the GameCube era, and I haven't checked the prices of Baten Kaitos, but I'm sure those prices skyrocketed for the GameCube version. So if you never played the game, definitely check out Baten Kaitos, and that's releasing on September 14th. Then on September 19th, we have The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails, which is releasing on the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC from Nihon Falcom and NIS America. Now, this is a game that was never released outside of Japan. I think it was on the PSP way back when, and there was an announcement from Nihon Falcom and NIS America where they were finally localizing all these Trails games that were never seen in North America, such as Trails from Zero and Azure, and Trails into Reverie, which Zero and Azure were PSP games. I think they came out in 2010 and 2011, and then Trails into Reverie came out in 2020. So it takes a while for the Falcom games to get localized because there's so much text in them. And there's a weird way that developer works in that they have to wait for the game to release in Japan first to give the game over to the translators. It's a strange thing they have going on because when you get worldwide releases, like by big studios such as Square Enix or Atlus, they're working simultaneously. So you gotta wait a few years for that. This game, I think, has references to the Trails series, but for the most part, it's a standalone game. It's action combat, similar to Ys, so it's not really turn-based, and I don't think it really connects to the Trails Kaseki series. It's more or less a spin-off, and it looks like quite a bit of fun. It's only $50, and definitely check it out. And I think I saw on NIS America's website, they still have the limited editions available, and I think they retail for $90, but it comes with a bunch of extra stuff. If you're a real big collector and like the Trail series, you might be interested in that. So then on September 28th, we have two games here, one of which, and get ready for this title, Infinity Strash Dragon Quest The Adventures of Dai, which is releasing on pretty much every console. It says PS4, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Except this game is only releasing digitally. There is a Play Asia version, which again, we talked about that earlier with Baten Kaitos and Play Asia. So it's a shame that a game like this from Square Enix, nonetheless, is getting, digital only. It's a Dragon Quest title. It's a spin-off. It's like an action-based game based off of the manga and anime series, The Adventures of Dai. So, and I think it's $50 on the Switch, but it's like $70 on the PS5. So yeah, the PS5 games are more expensive. So that's coming out. And then we also have East 10 Nordics from Nihon Falcom. And that game is only releasing in Japan. As I mentioned before about The Legend of Nayuta, it takes a while for these games to get localized. Like I mentioned, Trails into Reverie, that game came out in 2020 and then got the North America release in 2023. So I would imagine East 10 will get localized either next year or 2 years from now. But if you're a fan of the East series, that looks like a lot of fun. Adol's back at it, back in action, and all sorts of good stuff. So then a day later, on September 29th, we have Fate Samurai Remnant, which is releasing on the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And this is from Omega Force and Koei Tecmo. Omega Force was the company behind Dynasty Warriors, So this game is for fans of the Dynasty Warriors series and also fans of the Fate series. If you like action hack and slash type games and also enjoy the Fate characters, this looks right up your alley. It seems like the main character is going to be some form of Saber. It's not Artoria, but it's some iteration of Saber, and I've also seen Cuckoo Lane and Gilgamesh are in the trailers. So for Fate fans and action RPG fans, especially of the Dynasty Warriors franchise, there's Fate Samurai Remnant, and this game is also $60 on every console. So PS4, PS5, Switch, and Windows, it's all $50. Sometimes the PS5 games will be $70, so it's, fair that they keep it all at the same price. Then on October 3rd, to get you ready for the Halloween season, we have Disgaea 7, Vows of the Virtuous, from Nipponichi Software and NIS America, releasing on the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC for $60. So if you're a fan of the Disgaea series, everything's pretty much remaining the same. It's some goofy, over-the-top tactical battles. I don't think Lahara was in this. Maybe he has a cameo. I think they kind of moved away from Lahara with new protagonists, but it's not necessarily horror-themed. I mean, there's, scary-looking designs and stuff like that, but it's more of, a comedy parody horror type thing with tactical battles, and, it looks like a lot of fun. So, if you're into Disgaea, I'm sure you'll enjoy that on October 3rd. Then the game I am most looking forward to on November 2nd, Star Ocean: The Second Story R, which is a remake of Star Ocean: The Second Story, a game that was released on the PlayStation 1, and then years later got a remaster on the PSP, and now is getting a full-on remake in the HD 2D art style, similar to Octopath Traveler and Live Alive, and games like that. Although this is the first game that's going to be an action RPG and not a turn-based RPG. And let me just say, the trailer looks absolutely beautiful. As soon as I saw it, I pre-ordered the game. It's the one game on this list that I have pre-ordered, and I can't wait to play it. Releasing on every console, on the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PC. And on every console, it's going to be $50. So this is how you do a remake correctly. There's a few remakes we already talked about here, remasters, and there's one we're going to talk about at the very end. That is the way you do not handle a remake. But this is very affordable. The game looks great. With Star Ocean, pretty much all the games, you have different protagonists, different story routes to go down, different recruitable characters. In this one, you have Claude and Rena. So it looks like so much fun. I can't wait to play it. I have it pre-ordered, and it's coming out on November 2nd. Then on November 17th, we have Persona 5 Tactica, which is also releasing on every console, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PC at $60. This is from Sega and Atlus. And, they're kind of milking Persona 5, but I understand Atlus and Sega have a good thing going, so might as well keep milking it, right? And it's tactical battles. We have, the classic Persona 5 crew with Joker and An, Ryuji, Makoto, all the characters you know and love. And this is just getting ridiculous. But I saw that they were already advertising DLC for Akechi and Kasumi. And it's like, man, come on, DLC already? Atlus, you gotta chill. There's so much DLC with Atlus, and really all these games in general. The DLC is getting out of control. But, they understand that a lot of the Persona fans will just keep buying it, so I guess I can't really blame them. I'm probably going to pass on this one, but for those who enjoy Persona 5 and like tactical RPGs, it's out there. Then on the same day, November 17th, we have Super Mario RPG, the Super Mario RPG remake, which, why are they just calling it that? I mean, on the SNES, it was Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, and now it's just Super Mario RPG? Which one are we talking about here? But I digress. Obviously, it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch. $60, which it's Nintendo we're talking about, so do you really think they're going to make it lower than $60? I'm honestly surprised they're not going to retail it for $70 like they did Tears of the Kingdom, but I guess it is a remake, right? And I was kind of on the fence about this one when I heard the rumors. I'm like, oh, it's a classic. It's an SNES classic, but the trailer looks fantastic. Geno fans can rejoice. I don't think he's ever going to make his way to Smash Brothers, but he could. He can Geno whirl his way over there. For now, he'll just be on the Super Mario RPG remake, and I'm very tempted to get that one. It looks like a lot of fun. We have Yoko Shimomura returning for the OST. Of course, that was, I think, one of the first games she was a part of, Super Mario RPG, or it could have been Live Alive. I know she worked on a lot of the Square titles on the SNES, and probably most famous now for the Kingdom Hearts series. But yeah, the Super Mario RPG music is great. Again, the trailer was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to this one, absolutely. Then on December 1st, we have Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince, which is exclusive to Nintendo Switch from Square Enix. This is retailing for $60. And for those, such as myself, who do not care for Pokemon anymore, this is your alternative. This, Shin Megami Tensei, which was before Pokemon anyway, but for whatever reason, Pokemon is still going strong, even though we have games with more heart and soul, such as Dragon Quest Monsters and Shin Megami Tensei. So, like I said, it's a monster collector. One of the characters, I think, is from Dragon Quest 5 or 6. The Dark Prince is one of the characters from a previous Dragon Quest game, which is a fun little Easter egg, and looks like a lot of fun. I'll definitely have to keep my eye out on that one. It's interesting how a number of these Dragon Quest games are releasing exclusively on the Switch, because last year we had Dragon Quest Treasures, which was on the Switch, and then just a few months ago got released on PC, on Steam, and now we have Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince exclusive to Switch, and I would assume will also release on PC. Although I wish it would release on PS4. Like, you know, I'm the PS4 man over here. I do have a Switch, so maybe I can make an exception for this one, but I digress. Now we're going to fast forward to February 1st, 2024, and we have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink from Side Games releasing on the PS4, PS5, and PC for $60. Now this game, I think, was announced all the way back in 2018 and kept getting delayed over and over and over again. But it looks like a lot of fun. I understand, didn't this series start out as like a manga or something? And these characters were also in some fighting games, part of Arc Systems. I think there's quite a few Grand Blue Fantasy fighting games. So they've been around for a while. And this is going to be an action RPG. From the footage I've seen in the trailers, it reminds me a lot of the Tales of series. And there's a lot of famous English voice actors, such as Erica Limbeck and Christina V. So I'm looking forward to this game. Looks like a lot of fun. I'll keep my eye out, and it's coming out on February 1st. We finally have a proper release date. Although, the last time they showed the trailer for this game, I think it was Summer Games Fest, they said late 2023. So late 2023 turns until February 2024. So you gotta love how that works. And then the final game, which I'm going to talk about it, I'm really not looking forward to this game, so I kind of contradict myself from the beginning of this video. But I have to talk about it anyway, and that is a game releasing on February 2nd, 2024, Persona 3 Reload, releasing on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. No Nintendo Switch, and of course this is from Sega and Atlus. And honestly, I'm really not looking forward to this. The first thing that turned me away from it is the fact that they recast all the voice actors, which, just take a look at the voice cast from the original Persona 3. It's classic mid-2000s Kino, and they recast all the voice actors. They're definitely going to pull their DLC nonsense, because with Persona 3, there's been a number of releases. The original, FES, and then Portable, which FES added some stuff with Aegis, the answer, the epilogue, that sort of thing. And then in Portable, they added the female protagonist, so you get like a different perspective. So, you know how Atlus does their DLC. They're going to have DLC, I guarantee it. And this game is retailing for $70 on every console, even on the PS4, which, okay, I can understand. The PS5 has established that their games are $70, and that's the thing going forward. But how is a remake of a PlayStation 2 game $70 on the PS4? That is just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but, you know, I guess, you know, new people who want to play Persona 3, I guess this is a better entry point, because, you know, the PlayStation 2 version is expensive. It can be difficult for Zoomers to emulate. So I get it, but myself, I'm going to pass on the Persona 3 remake, Persona 3 Reload. You would think that Atlus could move on to Persona 6, because Persona 5, that's years and years ago. Persona 5 initially released on the PS3 and PS4, and then of course years later got Royal which, again, they do that with every Persona game. Persona 3 had FES, Persona 4 had Golden, Persona 5 has Royal. This game is going to have its DLC and re-release eventually, and then even with Persona 6, that'll get its own enhanced version or whatever. So I don't know. I get Atlus and Sega's perspective because they know they can keep milking the fans because they'll keep buying it. They know their customers, but I'm gonna be a little smarter here and avoid this game. I just figured I'd mention it. Obviously, you know, there's graphical enhancements. It has the Persona 5 engine. I mean, we're comparing a PS2 game to a PS5 or PS4 and PS5 games, so it looks better. But, I mean, I don't know. The saying goes, retro always wins. So if you want to play Persona 3, I'd recommend playing the FES version on the PlayStation 2. But I understand people wanting to play this one. And maybe if you're a diehard Persona 3 fan, you want to see a different perspective or whatever. But it's a pass for me, dog. So yeah, to recap, the game I'm most looking forward to is Star Ocean, the Second Story R, which, like I said, I have pre-ordered. The next game I'm looking forward to the most is probably the Super Mario RPG remake. But otherwise, you know, we have quite a number of games. Too many games for me to play. I mean, maybe I could buy all these games, but do I have the time to play all these games? No. So I gotta pick and choose my battles. Please leave a comment down below with which game on this list you are most looking forward to, and if you're going to buy any of these games, and which games maybe you're not looking forward to. And also, please feel free to leave a comment if I missed any games. Like I said, there's dozens and dozens of RPGs being released from now to the end of the year. But I just went through and said, let me try to get 10 games, and it ended up being 15 games. So that's why we have the title the way it is. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Peace out.
99.